what's up, y'all? It's Rainbow Michael here with Synergy Flow Arts, giving you a little tutorial on the linear isolation and how it's a concept, not necessarily a single move. And without further ado, I'd love to give you the tutorial for the linear isolation. Bam! All right. So first of all, you're going to have your isolation down really nice. You definitely want to have this thing down. It just helps to move the isolation around because we are going to be linearly moving this isolation. You have to have your isolation down. They're one and the same. So really, you want to focus on that top part, the part where your hand has the switch grips. So once you get that down, and then you can start to play with this other one and not make it look all really floppy. So first thing I'd like to start out with is just an imaginary line moving out from the top of the hoop sideways and then from the bottom of the hoop sideways, going in both directions. So two parallel lines, one extending from the top, one extending from the bottom, that the hoop is going to move from. So they're kind of imaginary lines and the invisible guidelines for you to get your move a little bit tighter. So it's a three-part process that I'm going to break down for you, and then we'll just explore some troubleshooting spots as well. So first of all, you're going to be fully extended at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on your reference and point of view. So your hand is fully extended. I can't push it I can't push it any further that way. And so that's where you'll begin from, at 3 o'clock. And so I'm going to drag my hoop through those parallel lines, doing the easy part of the isolation. And then once the hoop's in front of me, I have my hand down at 6 o'clock. So that's a good indicator that you're doing it correct. And then you keep pushing them through those parallel lines, and then you're going to have your hoop again at 3 or 9 o'clock, depending on your orientation, and it's fully extended. I can't extend anymore unless it's with my shoulder. So now we do the quote-unquote hard part of the isolation, the top part of the isolation, as we drag our hands all the way back. So, and pull back. So it's a simple concept of just pulling it back, doing the hard part of the isolation here. So you're just pulling it back doing that. So you start fully extended. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So a simple process of counting to 3. I hope all of you can do that. All the viewers can do that. And then do that forever, and then slowly begin to do the full linear isolation. The next thing is, you can review that as much as you want, just break it down, hit rewind, whatever it is. Just a simple three-part process, just remember that. The next thing I just want to go over with you on the version of why it's a concept and not a move is that that's just one set of parallel lines that you can move the hoop through in a linear isolation. So, according to modern science and math, this is 360 degrees. Is that correct? I think it is. So that means that we have 180 parallel lines to move the hoop through. So there's 180 possible movements for linear isolation, and you can just, chop them down in half, which I think kind of got the name isopop or however it goes. But you can chop them in half, or you can have full extensions. A lot of the lines that I like to play with are from the 60-degree channel, kind of like I call it starting a lawnmower sort of deal. Those are always nice. And again, you can play with and explore any of these movements. The hoop wants to move linearly in linear isolation if you think about those parallel lines. And the other last thing that I'll say to you as you're discovering all the other possible movements is if you break down how to move it on the diagonal plane or moving through these horizontals and slash funkier movements for linear isolation, you really are being guided by where your hand is placed. So you can see from here, I'm going to move it horizontally because my hand is pointing to that direction. It's not necessarily pointing, but my hand is directing. If I had an arrow, it would be like pointing that way. So therefore, I'm doing that isolation. Now I have my hand pointing in that diagonal, so if I had a little arrow pointing out, it'd be pushing up. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. You can see with the the vertical one as well. As you move it up and down, the hand is directing where the motion is going. So using your hand as a director, start to play with all those other movements, and I'll just kind of give you a little demo of what you can do with this. So hope you enjoyed. Again, this is Synergy Flow Arts, using a 5-piece collapsible hoop here. All the pieces break down to about that size, so it's really awesome for traveling, and it looks really awesome still, a nice round hoop. So here, without further ado, I'll give you a little bit of flow with it. That concludes our lesson on the linear isolation. My name is Rainbow Michael. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Keep rocking in the freak world.